All right, let's try it again now that I have sound. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome back to another segment of Before the Four. I'm your digital host, Tatyana White, filling in for AJ Wuest. Starting with weather, we're seeing a few flash flood warnings in the Tennessee Valley area as the threat of a few showers and thunderstorms still linger for later today, moving into the evening hours. 48 First Alert meteorologist Chelsea Aaron will have more on the weather coming up at 4 in our other evening newscasts as well. And please stay safe today during the rain and storms as well. And so we're going to start in the Sand Mountain area. So a now ex-Henniker police officer was arrested on a public dissemination and displaying obscene matter charge on Thursday night. According to the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office, investigators received a report from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children regarding a social media account that was used to share child pornography. DeKalb County investigators and special response team, along with the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, and the Department of Homeland Security executed a search warrant at a residence in Jackson County early Thursday morning. According to officials, after reviewing IP address details and logs, obtaining electronic devices, and speaking with witnesses, it was determined that another potential suspect in the case was a Henniker police officer. Evidence was gathered to secure an arrest warrant for 40-year-old Joshua Kwan. He was arrested and interviewed before being transported to the DeKalb County Jail. Following his arrest, Kwan was terminated as a Henniker police officer. 48 Savannah Sapp will have more on this developing story coming up in our evening newscast. And one person was killed in an early morning car crash in Huntsville. Huntsville police say that the crash happened near the intersection of Patton Road and Drake Avenue around 4 a.m. Another person was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. The driver of the vehicle crashed into a telephone pole, then the car caught on fire. Police tell us the fire was quickly put out. Power was also knocked out in the area for a short time, but it has since been restored. And staying in Huntsville, the Huntsville City Council approved the expansion of one historic cemetery. Maple Hill Cemetery is the oldest cemetery in Huntsville. It opened in 1822. The Huntsville City Council approved buying an acre of land on the southeast border of Maple Hill Cemetery. Now the plan is to make it a new space for people to bury their loved ones who have passed on. District 4 Councilman Bill Kling says many historical figures, including 4 Alabama governors, have been laid to rest there. He thinks this expansion is a great move.
I'm sure once it comes into the cemetery, there'll be very good care that'll be given that piece of property, and I think it'll be great for future expansion of the cemetery in the central portion of the city, just as the city of Huntsville continues to grow.
A scattering garden is also in the works for those who decided to cremate their loved ones. And now a developing story out of Decatur. Last night, family and members of the community came together to remember John L.J. Scott Jr. Scott died a week after being taken into Decatur police custody following a mental health crisis. While sitting in the Morgan County Jail, he showed signs of physical distress and was taken to the hospital where he later died. Family and friends said they are in pain as they gathered to remember L.J. in a candlelight vigil. 48's Nick Ballinger was at the vigil and shares more from the emotional scene.
2 days worth of emotion since the death of John Scott Jr. were poured out in Decatur.
Lord, restore Decatur. Restore the Scott family, oh God.
Scott, known as LJ to many, died on Tuesday. It followed his arrest by Decatur police last week. Emotions are still very raw for his longtime friend, Curtis Taylor.
It's a combination of anger, grief, sadness. It's an emotional roller coaster.
The police encounter came after 2 phone calls over Scott experiencing a mental health crisis.
He was asking for help because he was having a crisis, and all he wanted was somebody to understand.
He was taken to the hospital from the Morgan County Jail where he fell into a coma after officials say he was showing signs of physical distress.
If you are against the injustice that's happening in this city, it's time to open up your mouth.
Marcus Emerson knew Scott for over a decade.
He's very much a community pillar in this community.
Without question.
And no question, he just wanted, to work together. He wanted to see people love each other and love one another. We as black men, we deserve to die old. We shouldn't have to die young.
The pair say they won't stop fighting until justice is served.
For everyone that's rallied around this family, don't let it stop. Don't let it stop after the funeral services. Don't let it stop a week after that. Continue to love on this family.
Until then, they'll continue to remember their friend.
He was a gentle giant. Like LJ be like, come on, man. He put that arm around you, be like, God.
I can hear that Yonkers draw
Yeah.
and be like, come on, big bro. Aight.
Yep.
That was his phrase right there. Aight.
And coming up after the break, some police departments in the Sand Mountain area have hired new recruits. An update on a Lauderdale County school employee being arrested and charged after having sex with a student. An update on Panoply. More information on National Prescription Drug Takeback Day. All that and more when we come back. Hello everyone and welcome back to Before the Four. A new class of Police Academy graduates are beginning their careers right here in the Tennessee Valley. Albertville and Boaz police departments have hired new recruits who just graduated from the Northeast Alabama Law Enforcement Academy. 48 Savannah Sapp shares more from Albertville.
Well, police leaders tell me it can be quite difficult to convince officers to come work in smaller communities like here in Albertville or Boaz. But a new graduating class of recruits is helping two Sand Mountain cities fill their ranks. The Boaz Police Department is welcoming Officer Glenn and Officer Sixtos as they've completed their training from the Northeast Alabama Law Enforcement Academy. Chief Mike Turner says their presence is much needed.
Our two new recruits we got coming will give us we'll be up to two of our shifts will have 5 and the other 2 will have 4.
Turner believes in the long run these recruits will benefit from beginning their career in a smaller department as they are more open.
We offer a good family atmosphere, so we want our guys to know that they have access to the chief and deputy chief 24/7.
Both Turner and Albertville Police Chief J.T. Carty say increased call volume has encouraged their departments to bring in more recruits.
Call volume simply had increased to the point to where we needed the extra bodies.
We're up over 2,000 calls for service this last month, so it is increasing, especially with the summertime coming. More people are getting out.
Carty tells me one piece of advice he has for this new set of recruits is love your job and you'll be all right.
Like that family atmosphere, when people feel comfortable coming to work and they get along well, that means a lot.
In Marshall County, Savannah Sapp, 48 News, on your side.
Now let's get into a 48 update on a Lauderdale County high school employee who was arrested and charged with 2 counts of a school employee engaging in sex act with a student. Amy Wigginton has recently been fired after admitting to having sex with a student, according to WAFF 48's news partners at the Times Daily. She was placed on administrative leave after the arrest. Wigginton worked in the child nutrition program for Lauderdale County High School. According to court records obtained by the Times Daily, Wigginton waived her rights and confessed to having sex with a student on March 7th and March 31st. The sex acts allegedly took place at her home. Wigginton was booked into the Lauderdale County Detention Center on April 4th and bonded out the same day. The Lauderdale County School Board unanimously voted to terminate her employment on Wednesday. The Times Daily reports Wigginton has a preliminary hearing on June 23rd. And Panoply is back. The fun at Big Spring Park started earlier today. 48 Sarah Grace Kennedy was at Big Spring Park and she shares more on how people should prepare for the congestion and traffic this weekend.
So we have kind of had all hands on deck getting ready for this weekend, all city departments, administration, everyone. And so we're just excited to see the city and some visitors come out and experience our downtown.
Over 80,000 people attended Panoply last year, and event organizers expect to see tens of thousands of people again. This year, over 120 artists will be presenting their art at Panoply, including Huntsville artist Catherine Price. Price first started painting after a family friend was killed in a car wreck. She says she realized life was too short and decided to start taking art classes. Many classes later, Price now has her own successful art business.
Well, it kind of was an accident. I enjoyed my hobby and I got painting a lot, and people wanted to start buying it. And so once they started buying it, it was kind of like, okay, maybe I can make this work.
Price takes inspiration from her own life when going in with a paintbrush.
I call that Lily Pulitzer's orchid because it's all pinks and greens, and I was wearing a Lily Pulitzer shirt one day, and then I liked the colors, and I decided, maybe that'll look good on a painting.
Price tells me that she's been attending Panoply for 3 years now, so she can show off her art in person.
I think their tagline is "Panoplies don't rain," and so it's a tough environment, but people come out and support it. It's amazing what people enjoy doing and how they enjoy your work. It just kind of feeds on itself and kind of encourages me as well.
Event organizer Patrice Johnson says that Panoply is a special event for Huntsville every single year.
If you're a native of Huntsville, you have a memory there. You have people that are transplants like myself, and I have so many amazing memories here. So it's just one of those things that's really a big part of the community.
Yes, so definitely go check out Panoply this weekend if you can. It's going to be amazing. And tomorrow is National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. This is an opportunity for people to safely dispose of any unused or unwanted medications at a location to help combat the opioid epidemic by keeping medications out of the wrong hands. Here in the Huntsville and surrounding areas, the Drug Take-Back Day will be from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and the 3 drop-off locations will be the Huntsville Police Safety Complex, Madison City Hall, and the CVS in Meridianville on Road 12275, Alabama 231. There will be an easy, convenient drive-through drop-off option for you at these locations. Now into a few stories you don't want to miss in the upcoming newscast. 48 spoke with the widow of an Arab man who was brutally murdered while on vacation in Arizona. 48's Callie Neese will have more on that coming up. The city of Madison says they are no longer putting fluoride in their water. 48's Faith Delp will have more details on that coming up. And a lawmaker from Hartsville wants to ban drag shows from public schools and libraries. 48's Noah Cowell will have more on that. And these are just a few of the stories you don't want to miss coming up in our evening newscasts. And now into Facebook Fun. The Facebook Fun question we have for the day is, if you could only eat one food dish for the rest of your life, what would it be? So first of all, I just want to say I love coming up with these fun fact questions like this. It's just so fun just to see what other people have to say and what their answers are. And so for this question, I think personally, I'm going to go with quesadillas. I love quesadillas so much, especially those fully loaded ones with the shrimp, steak, chicken, cheese, all of that. So I could probably truly eat that for the rest of my life. That or a Chipotle rice bowl. I love a good Chipotle bowl. But let's see what some of you had to say. So we have from Angela V. Wright. She says, blackened shrimp tacos from the Shoals Shack in Florence, Alabama. Oh my goodness, that place is good. I have not tried that, but that sounds amazing. I love shrimp, blackened shrimp, so we'll have to try that. That sounds great. Tommy Joyner says, a pizza topped with a steak, chicken wings, tacos, and a sandwich, and that all of those things, love all of those. So I love how you did that combo. I would also probably do a combo like that as well. And then Gloria, okay, we'll get back to her. And then Brian Lake says a grilled chicken pasta with broccoli from Olive Garden and a salad. That sounds so good. So all of these sound absolutely amazing. Thank you all so much for sharing. And these have given me some dinner ideas as well in the future. So And so that is all I have today. Thank you all for commenting for Facebook Fun. And please tune into our 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock newscast this evening to hear the latest stories. And that's all I have today for Before the 4. Thank you all for tuning in with me, and AJ will be back with you all on Monday. And you can catch me back here tomorrow for my live stream at 3 p.m. for another segment of the 48 Recap, where I'll be giving a recap of our top news stories of the week, talking about weekend events and much more. I hope you all have a great rest of your day.